Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Gita Lestari. I'm from TugasUASgitaresearchelt. My study ID 1911-617. Well, I will explain about my mini proposal. The title: The Influence of Teacher Competence in Improving Vocabulary Mastery at Class 1 SMP Negeri 20 Sigi. Chapter 1: A Background. According to Menser, vocabulary is the total number of words in a language, while Morales state the vocabulary is a listing of the words used in some enterprise. Currently, English has become the main communication medium for people in various countries in the world, such as England, the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South America, and many other countries that use English as their country's main medium of communication. However, in Indonesia, English is the second language used. Currently, the use of English is not only used as a liaison language of communication between countries, but has also begun to penetrate into various other fields. For example, the mass media. In this modern era, many mass media have used English in publishing news and other unique things. For this reason, as a nation that wants to progress, we must also be able to speak in English, so that if one day we need it, we will easily understand what the word want to convey. In order to make it easier for us to understand English, it would be nice if we improve vocabulary mastery through daily conversation. Many compelling reasons for providing students with instruction to build vocabulary. None is more important than the contribution of vocabulary knowledge to reading comprehension. Indeed, one of the most enduring findings in reading research is the extent to which students' vocabulary knowledge relates to their reading comprehension. B. Formulation of the problem. How is the teacher's influence in improving vocabulary mastery? C. The purpose of the study: to find out vocabulary mastery on student abilities in learning and speaking. Chapter 2: Review of literature. A. Teaching. The presence of the teachers plays an important role in the teaching and learning process. In teaching English, the teacher needs to vary the way of the teaching in order to attract student interest in the teaching and learning process. Becoming an English teacher as an innovator in learning is a business activity to make a student aware and develop in the teaching and learning process. There are several factors that can affect the success of call in school, namely curriculum, materials, methods, teachers, student, and technique. It means teaching is a systematic way. Teachers as an organized should be creative to make learners interested in following the subject. Teaching may be said to cover not only activity of guiding student activity, but also those which aim at helping students develop themselves, be able to adapt themselves in the group to which they belong. As the results of teaching, the students should be able to interest in their group. They are learning to think, feel, and act in harmony through social groups of which they are a part. First, vocabulary. Vocabulary is a one-language life. Vocabulary has a very important role both as a thought process and as a means of communication in society. Vocabulary is the main tool possessed by someone who will learn a language, because vocabulary function to form sentence, express thoughts and feelings perfectly, both orally and writing. Burhan Nurgianto 2001 states that vocabulary is the well of words owned by a language. The second, games. Games help teachers in the teaching and learning process, because in the game there are many useful and meaningful language contexts. To understand what is written or done in the game, it is important for us to learn how the game process plays. In the game, we can express the point of view of the game themselves or those who provide information. According to Clark, game is activity that involve a player's decision trying to achieve a goal, constrained by a certain context, for example, limited by rules. B. The types of games. A. Guessing games. Guessing games can be pens ways to develop or reinforce any numbers of concepts. Guess what I am or guess who I am, for example, can be used to teach about animals, profession, or people in different age group, baby, child, teenagers, young adult, middle-aged adult, elderly person. Guess what I'm doing can be used to teach recognition in the target language of activities such as taking a bath, go finishing, doing homework, and so forth. Various search for game ideas are mentioned, but teachers are reminded one of the best search in the student themselves. B. Simon says. Game Simon says, where the game literally says Simon's word to continue the game. They touch physically. If the game leader doesn't mention Simon, then we should do something without Simon's word. Chapter 3. Research methodology. Research design. In this research, the writer would like to collect, process, and analyze the data to get conclusion of the research. This research is called quantitative research because it will use a number of statistics. Arboleda said experimental research is research in which researchers internationally manipulate one or more variables in a way to influence those variables. Population and sample. Population is the whole object or totality of research, a subject which can be in the form of people, objects, or things in which can be obtained or can provide research information. Sample. The sample is a part or as representative of the population being studied. If the research is carried out partly from the population, it can be said that research is a sample study. C. Data collection. The writer gave the student the pre-test and post-test used to test the two groups of students. Pre-test and post-test are the same in form as well as its content, but time and aim are different. Firstly, both the experiment class and control class were given the pre-test before the lesson is begun to know the student knowledge of the material that will be taught. Secondly, both the experimental class and control class were given the same materials but with the different technique of presentation. I think that's enough. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.